Salutations. I made a video where I showed how you can establish a VNC connection through SSH using its tunneling VNC connection over SSH. I'm afraid it's not clear for some of you, and here is another video where I clarify it more and more, and I hope after this video you can establish it successfully. First of all, you need to make sure that the SSH, or I mean the VNC server, is configured correctly on your remote server, on your computer that you would like to remote control over it. You want to control it, you need to make sure that your VNC server is running well. In my case, I use a Tiger VNC, and when I tried to use X11 VNC, it did not want to work. So after you configure your VNC server very well, if it is X11, you run the commands that I'm going to show you on your client from which you want to remote control your server or your computer. It doesn't necessarily need to be a physical server. We say server, we mean with it the computer that is being controlled remotely, and we say server with it because it's a VNC server installed on it, as well as a client, whereas we have a client on which we remote control that computer. Okay, it's a topology of a client and a server. So if you were able to configure X11 VNC and you did what I'm gonna show you now and it worked, don't hesitate to tell me. Otherwise, if it did not work, you may need to use Tiger VNC. And I'm not gonna include the configuration of the VNC server. It can be sometimes simple, it can be sometimes a little tricky. Like for example, for maybe Gentoo or Arch, it requires some extra steps aside from installing and enabling the service. I don't know for the other distributions, I still did not try it. So you configure your VNC server, you make sure it runs, it works well. I'm gonna show you that it works in my case. Here I'm gonna establish the connection without a tunnel. Here is my IP address of the server, the password for the VNC connection, you decided, and as you can see it works. This is my VNC connection, my VNC server, and it's working, and this is without tunneling. Okay? You yourself, you need to make sure that your VNC server works. Okay? If it worked for you with X11 VNC, don't hesitate to tell me. And then you run this command. You run not exactly the same, but with the same form. Here you put your username, in my case it's Ali. Here you put your remote or your server IP address or host name, in case you assign the host name with it. If I'm not mistaken, it can be different. I'm not sure for the host name. You need to make sure yourself. Here you put -L. In the previous video it was with the port because the port was changed. Here I'm not going to change the port, so no need to specify it. This port number is going to be used later. So you can change it if you want. You can put, for example, 3901 or 2901, but later you're going to use exactly that same port. And then here the host name of your client or the computer from which you want to remote control your server, your other computer. And then here, I guess this is the default port for the VNC connection. You run the command, you put the password of the user on your remote computer, the server, and then you come to another tab of your client and the terminal. You remember this port very well because it's going to be used. And you run this command. You change the port. Before this I tried it with 3901. You run it like this and you're good to go. This one is tunneled. This connection is tunneled, it's secure, not like the plain VNC connection which is not secure. This proves to you that the connection is established correctly. Okay? So, first you need to configure your VNC server correctly, make sure there is no problem with it, and then afterwards you run the commands, this one, not exactly the same but similar. Here you put your username, here the IP address for your machine, the one that you want to remote control, and here you put a port number that you're gonna use, mostly between 9999 and 1000. I tried something less than 1000, but I wasn't able to establish the connection successfully. Okay, and then you run this command. Where you run these two commands, this one and this one, you run them from the computer from which you wanna remote control your computer, your other computer. In my case is this computer where I'm recording. Okay, that's it. You keep this one running, by the way. After you run this command, it's gonna log you to your server, to your VNC server. It doesn't necessarily need to be a true server, as I said. You keep it running and then you run this command and you're gonna get your VNC connection tunneled and secure. Okay, I hope it's clear. Interested in similar content, subscribe, like, share and comment, and cheers.